lock on my front door.
All right. We are back here at Song of the Day, coming to you from the Rock Cave. I'm your host, Mark Pierce. It's Wednesday, Wanderlust Wednesday. Love Wanderlust Wednesday. How about you? What are we talking about today? We try to throw some stuff at you. Bands maybe you've never heard, or songs you've never heard, or deep cuts, that kind of stuff. You guys all know the drill if you've been following me. What are we talking about today? Well, we're talking about somebody that everybody knows. We're talking about Tom Petty, and I heard one of these songs the other day, and I was like, I'm going to talk about this record because I love this record. And you just don't hear some of these songs, maybe not even at all, or very rarely. So we're going back to 1996 when he does a soundtrack, pretty rare for Tom Petty, but he doesn't just do the soundtrack, he does the whole soundtrack. It's basically a Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers record packaged into a soundtrack, and the movie is She's the One. Who remembers this one? If you don't, it's all right because it got mixed reviews, but on paper it looked pretty darn good. It's got Jennifer Aniston and Cameron Diaz, directed by Edward Burns, actor-director. If you remember him from Saving Private Ryan. And this particular movie, it just did all right. So maybe that was part of it. But soundtracks are tough, right? They're tough. But this is a pretty darn good record. There's a lot of slow songs on here as well, so you get to see a different side of Tom Petty. But there's some real gems on here that are worth checking out. My personal favorite is the one that I heard on the radio, Sirius XM radio. Change the Locks. Do you guys know this song? Change the Locks this is great. You just don't hear it enough. I like the way the song builds. He changes up what he's talking about, and then every time he talks about doing something, he goes back around again. And he sums it all up at the end. But anyway, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. If you don't know Change the Locks, you're checking that out. But also, Zero from Outer Space. Do you guys know this song? Tell me somebody knows Zero from Outer Space. Another good one that just starts right off with a great guitar. It's upbeat, and I don't know how you can't not like this song. That's a great one. Walls is another one. That's your next one. Walls, there's two on there. There's Walls Circus and Walls number 3. Walls number 3 actually was played on the radio. Even the Walls Circus might have too, but Walls number 3, if anything, you might know that one. Climb That Hill, another one. Also, this is great stuff here. And then Slow It Down a little bit. Grew Up Fast. Great song called California. That one, a couple of these, I think, made it on the reissue. So they put out a beautiful box set of the Wildflowers box set after he died. And they threw home recordings on there, and they just did it right. And it was because it was intended to be a bigger record. And this, if you haven't checked that out, you're checking that out. But there are some guests on here. He got some of the Beatles on one of the track. Ringo Starr and George Harrison are on one of them, Hung Up and Overdue. Lindsey Buckingham is backup vocals on 3 of the songs, so that's pretty cool as well. But you're checking out She's the One soundtrack. Maybe they didn't market it well enough as a Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers record. I don't know. Who knows? But do you guys remember this? Do you know these songs? Again, these are deep cuts. Speaking of deep cuts from Tom Petty, another one that I've played before is Anything That's Rock and Roll. If you guys don't know that from early on in his career, that's a good one. But we're talking about She's the One from 1996. Check out that soundtrack today. Play the whole thing because there's some good stuff on there. And tell me what you think. In particular, check these out. Song of the day is Change the Locks, but Zero from Outer Space is right behind for me as far as my favorite 2 off this record. That's it for you today, people. I don't know what's the schedule this week. I don't know. We might be able to sneak in one more this week. Hard to say. Just going to keep you guessing. Whatever you're doing today, hope it involves music. And as usual, I'll catch you on the flip side.
Hey, I see you.